Hello and welcome to another episode of Battle Ready.
Ready.
Where today we thought we'd talk about something that comes up frequently, although it depends on, I guess, how prolific you are, how frequently it comes up. And that is, how do you pick your next project? So I think most of the time there's some project percolating, maybe more than one, right? You've got some guys you're trying to paint. You've got an army list you're trying to put together. You've got some lore you want to read.
Mm-hmm.
You've got different armies you're working on, or maybe just one army to completion, but you've got a spearhead over here. So some people are going to have lots of projects. We've talked before, Drake sort of likes to have a lot of things going, a lot of irons in the fire. I'm very much the opposite. I want to get on one road, drive it to the end. And then once that's done, then I'll think about a new project. So the question is, all right, let's say that you've completed one, or maybe you've completed a part of one and you're like, it's time for yet more projects upon my desk. It's time for yet more. So how do you decide what your project is, what your next project is going to be? Thoughts?
I feel like there's a couple of different ways you could pick.
Okay. Well, what inspires you? Because I feel like, so Drake is on the lookout for a new project. In fact, I think he's got one picked.
Yep.
Now, he wants to get a new spearhead.
Yep.
Conveniently, he didn't want to get a new spearhead during the year when he had to pay for it. But as we approach the end of the year, and he knows that Santa's elves might be available to get
the plastic fires
to get someone, suddenly he's more interested in the spearheads. So what spearhead are you interested
Flesh
in?
eaters.
Flesh eater
I
courts.
want the ghoul people.
And now, why? What has drawn you to that?
Because they're awesome.
Yeah, and we'll elaborate for us.
I mean, they're one of the armies we don't have, but we've always talked about, like, oh, the ghouls, they're cool. Look at them.
That's true. We don't have any flesh eater courts. We don't have a 2K army. We don't have a 1K army. We don't have...
Just any army.
We have a model.
You do?
Yes, we have an aberrant, because he came on the Terrorgeist. And so I built it as a zombie dragon, but there's a little aberrant guy that comes with us. It's in the box. We could paint him up. So we got, I guess technically we own one Flesh Eater Court model.
One sprue.
And I don't even know if it is an aberrant. I'm sort of trying to remember what
Something
that is.
ghoulish.
But it is some kind of ghoul creature. All right, but so what drew you to that? Other than the fact that it's, for us, pretty unique, right? It's outside our other armies. So I think, all right, so that's one thing we can talk about, right? So that's variety. Sometimes I think people want a project that is going to add variety.
Yeah.
And now, for you, in this case, that means a new army, right? But I think for some people, they're going to read a book about something they haven't, I want to read something from the Oryx perspective. Yeah. And everything I've ever read is like Sigmar stuff, right? Or some people are going to say, you know what? I've painted all my armies. I'm not really looking for a new army. Maybe I'm going to create some really cool terrain or a battle board or something like that, where you're like, okay, my next project is going to be really cool stuff for my army to play on.
Yeah.
Right? And then maybe you scratch build that. Maybe you buy stuff and paint it. There's all kinds of ways you can do it. So I think variety is a good key. Some people are like, I'm just going to play Lumineth and that's it. So I'm just going to buy more Lumineth. And if that's you, great, more power to you, right? But I think a lot of people want a little bit of variety. And so whether that means changing to terrain or changing to lore, or whether that means starting a new army, I think variety is a good thing to think about. Is there anything else that sort of excites you when you're thinking about your next project? All right, what else drew you to Flesh Eater Courts?
Really, it was just the variety. It was like, new shiny thing. I wanted.
Well, okay, but then why Flesh Eater Courts and not Ossiarch Bone Rippers or Lumineth Realm Lords or whatever else? Because there's other things that would be variety, right?
I feel like it's because those are the ones that are like excite me. Those like things I like.
Right, I get it. So I'm asking you, what about them excites you?
I feel like it's just that the lore is so unique from anything else ever written ever in the history of ever.
So I think that is a big, big piece, especially if you're thinking about doing an army, right? If there's other projects you're working on, this might not apply as much. But if you're thinking about a new army, one that has lore that really grabs you, that really excites you, I think that is a huge, huge thing, because that is going to sustain you. The projects, although fun, mostly not painting, but although fun and they're good to keep you busy and it's a good thing to do. They take a long time, right? They are not simple projects. They're not simple builds. And so you need something that's going to like keep you motivated, at least a baseline level of motivation throughout the course of the project. Because if you get halfway through your spearhead and you're like, nah, they weren't that cool after all, then that project's not getting done.
Yeah.
That project is sitting on the shelf for eternity until the ghouls come home.
Yeah.
And so you want something that's going to really, really grab you. And what that is going to differ from person to person.
Sure.
Right? I mean, some people, I think most people, because the ghouls are cool, I think most people are going to look at those guys and say, all right, the Flesh Eater Courts have some of the absolute coolest lore where they're all under this delusion. And really, they're these horrible creatures, but in their mind, they're noble
barons,
noble knights crusading for justice. Right? I mean, it's super, super cool. But, maybe you like the lore or of the Skaven, or maybe you like something that, you think the Caradron are really cool. So having that aspect of it, I think, helps. Because really, at the end of the day, they're just little plastic war dollies.
No, man,
right?
can.
Right. But I mean, they're just little guys, right? And so you need something to sort of bring that spark of imagination, bring them to life, right? All right, why else Flesh Eaters? What about the models themselves? Do you like the models themselves?
Yeah, I like that they sort of represent the lore. Because, I mean, like, their basic guys have little half-rusted swords and...
Well, some of their most basic guys, I think, just have hands and feet. They're like the peasants or the serfs or whatever. But yeah, I think I think one thing that's needs to be true also is that you have to like the models. Even if the lore is cool. For example, this is just my personal opinion, but I was pretty disappointed with the Chaos Dwarves. I think their lore is actually really cool. At least what we've learned about it so far. I think that the concept behind them is really cool. And I was ready to, I shouldn't say ready, but I was
thinking.
I was Chaos Dwarf curious. I was like, what is this going to look like? Because if they look cool, I might be in. I think I like this thing. And then when the models came out, I think they were neat.
Yeah.
I think they look very cool, and I think a lot of people are really, really going to like them. But for me, I looked at them and I thought, they just didn't do it for me. Whatever the aesthetic thing is, right? It's not that they were badly made or badly sculpted. They weren't. They were pretty cool, actually, I thought. But just for me, I felt like they didn't excite me, right? They did not spark joy. And so I was like, so ultimately I sort of passed on them. Now, maybe when they get a bigger range, because right now they just have a very small range.
Yeah. They are the Iron Jaws.
Yeah. I mean, I think there might be like the Lumineth where you come out with one glob of them, and then several months later, a second wave is going to hit that really fleshes out the army. So I feel like I don't want an army of just the first wave. Maybe if that second wave comes out, maybe if the models are a little bit more to my liking, I don't know. It's still up in the air. I haven't kiboshed them entirely, but for now. But it's because the models themselves were like, okay. Although since they're dwarves, they would have been easier to paint or shorter to paint because everything about dwarves is shorter. So maybe I would have liked that part. But what about the Flesh Eater Court models? Do you like? What sparks joy?
Just the aesthetic that they sort of dress like they're medieval knights. Like the Pegasus riders are riding horrible ghoul things, but have cool lances.
Yeah.
One of them literally has a wig made of intestines. It's cool.
You like the intestine wig guy?
Yeah.
So is the grossness of it a thing that you like? So let me ask this. So a lot of the newer models in their refresh are like guys with ghouls with halberds and stuff like that. And I do think those are really, really cool. But when they first were created, they were part of like the early 1.0 models that were like the micro armies. So they didn't have that many models.
Yeah.
And their most basic ghoul, which I think is still in the range, I don't think they got rotated out.
Was a dude running with a bone.
I don't even know if maybe some of them do, but they're really like loincloth guys with arms and legs that you paint green and their mouths a little bloody. Would you be interested in getting those guys as well? Or are you like, on those? I want to focus on the new stuff.
I want to focus on the new stuff.
Yeah, I think that's
they are depths in comparison.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Even though I don't think the ghouls actually look that bad, but when you compare them to what you could have, it's kind of hard to go back and be like, oh, it's sort of like, I feel almost the same way on Daughters of Cain with the witch elves. Witch elves?
Witch elves?
It's because those witch elves, I don't think they look bad at all on the Sisters of Slaughter. I don't think they're bad sculpts. I think they more or less hold up. But when you compare them to like the snake ladies, which are really good looking, even for sort of semi-basic troops, right? I guess they're the elite, right? But regular troop people, not even heroes or anything. You look at, or you compare it to who's the High Gladiatrix, right? A newer model that's sort of
with
that kind of thing.
Spindly whip.
Yes, but it's like she's an elf, right? The same way that an elf, because AELF sounds like you're from the South. Elf.
There's an elf in these parts.
Anyway, but that sculpt I think looks way better, better. And so it's sort of hard for me to want to spend money on witch elves, or Sisters of Slaughter, because I feel like I'm paying Games Workshop prices for models, but I'm getting models that are
little derps.
Derp might be a little harsh, but I'm getting models that are definitely older, right?
Also, their fantasy battles are like this.
Yeah. They're exactly. The sculpts are very straight up and down rather than more dynamic. So yeah, it's hard to spend the money on stuff like that. So I could see that same thing being true with Flesh Eater Courts. Yeah. I think those are all good things to think about when you're picking your hobby project. I think you want variety in whatever form that takes. I think you want something that's going to inspire you, particularly if it's something you're going to be painting and building and spending a lot of time with. You want something that you're not going to get sick looking at. Like, oh my gosh, if I see one more skeleton in the Ossiarch Bone Reaper, if I have to paint one more stupid bone, I'm out of it. Right? You can't have that. You have to be like, yes, cool, another one, another skeleton. Right?
Another one.
And I think all those things are cool. I do think, if talking about variety again just for a second, that for a lot of people, you get to a point where you're like, I can't paint anymore.
I've done too many.
I need to take a break. And I think sometimes, especially for you, when you have sort of multiple projects going on, that actually makes it good to jump. Because you have another project you could jump on. You're not burned out of the hobby necessarily, but you're like, I'm not painting one more of these guys. I'm done with these guys. And that gives you a chance to move on to something else. And I think more than just painting different guys, if you have terrain you can build, right? If you have a priming you can do, right? Sometimes you've got a lot of 3D prints and you can prime those up, right? And then have them ready. Like there's all kinds of other things you can do that keep you going in sort of a hobby space and keep your projects moving forward, even if you're taking a little bit of a break. And if you have to take a break from everything, read a book. Right? The Warhammer books are, for the most part, pretty good.
Stupid Kragnos.
You didn't like Kragnos? Drake read it. I did not read it.
It broke every rule. Kragnos could talk. To Stormcast just multiple times.
That definitely seems like maybe. I wonder if the author, they didn't tell him all, like they had the model and they're like, we want you to write a book about this super cool model. And then while he was off writing it, they made up the lore and didn't tell him. So he's like having Kragnos do stuff that Kragnos isn't supposed to do. But I mean, I've read I won't say a lot, but I've read maybe 10-ish, 10 to 12 Age of Sigmar books.
Tennis books.
And all of them, except for a couple, have just been really, really good. So that's a good way to keep your mind thinking about stuff. Oh, I love the Drekkie Flint ones. It's a good way to keep your mind thinking about stuff. It's a good way to keep your imagination, because lots of times when I'm reading a book, I'm focusing on the story, but in the back of my brain somewhere, I'm like, ooh, that would be a cool model to make. Ooh, that would be ooh, this unit is doing a lot of cool stuff in this book. Maybe I do want to get a Grunstock Thunder unit, or whatever. And so I think that can be really cool. So if you're like totally sick of getting out your tools and your hobby knife and all that, reading a book is a really good next hobby project.
Just don't do Kragnos. It'll put you
do Kragnos. Yeah, I didn't read Kragnos. The one I read that I didn't like was no, it's okay. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Gotrek series, but it was the Dominion. And it's not the author's fault, but I just really disliked the characters. The characters were really not relatable because they were either super aloof or straight up not heroic. And so you're either reading about people who are like we are the Stormcast and we don't quite understand what's going on, but we're going to punch and fight. And the action scenes were still cool.
Mm.
Or you're reading about the humans who are like actively looking for ways to run away. I mean, it was bad. So, but I love the all the Lady Olinder one was really good.
Yeah.
The Argonaut's Oath and the sequel to that one was really good. The Dreki Flint one and its sequel was really good.
All the character books are good, just universally.
The oh gosh, God Eater's Son was really good.
Gloomspite.
Gloomspite was really good, as was the other one.
Moonboss.
Is that what it was called? No, the Loon King. No, it was called. I don't know. It was one. It had a loon boss and he had a troll friend.
Yeah,
I forget what it's called. But yeah, they've all been really, really, really good. So that is also an excellent way to, if you need to put a little bit of physical hobby on hold, got some mental hobby.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we've pretty much covered it. Variety, something that inspires you, and something that will keep that inspiration going over a time period. And also, for me anyway, like when I finish one, like I've painted up my unit. In fact, right now, I painted up some Bladegeist Revenants. So we have
30.
We have 30 now, and I just finished that group of Bladegeists. And now I'm sort of on the lookout. I don't know that I have something in mind just yet. Maybe when those Christmas Battle Forces come out, maybe that'll be what I look at. But that will be something. I'm on the lookout for my next hobby project, and those will be the things that I look at. Where's my variety? Where's my
shiny stuff?
My shinies. What's going to spark joy? What's going to keep me going? All right, let us know in the comments below what you think. How do you choose your next hobby project? And are there factors that we haven't considered that really we should be talking about?
Price points.
Huh?
Price points.
Price point. That is true, right? I mean, like all hobbies are expensive.
But this one more so.
I don't know. A lot of ham radio is expensive. Jiu-jitsu is expensive. If you're into art's expensive. Any hobby's expensive. But this one sells you little plastic dolls. So, I mean, it does feel very expensive. But that is an important consideration because you don't want to necessarily buy 2,000 points of an army all at once and then have this major project that's going to take you years and years. Maybe it makes sense to buy a spearhead. And then if you like it and you want to keep going from there, then you buy another unit or 2 more units and you just sort of go over time, right? I mean, I think that makes a lot more sense than just, this is my paycheck for the month and I'm just going to give it to Games Workshop so I can have a bunch of models. It's like, maybe a little bit of budgeting is good. All right. Thanks so much for watching. This has been another episode of Battle Ready.